Hello, and welcome in the arena. I'm excited to see you again this week. And I believe the microphone issues are solved. I spent 2 hours testing last week and running different setup. So I'm pretty close to killing myself if it's not solved. No, I will be buying, I don't know, a freaking Elgato or something instead of trying to make it work with this headset. But yeah, feel free to tell me in the chat that is all okay on the mic, because last week was really bad in terms of sound quality. I checked the recording, and yeah, it was getting really hard to follow. So yeah, for this week, we have quite a few things. The usual wallet performance tracking, but I'm pretty excited because I got something special. That was kind of what I had in mind since the beginning of the arena, but it took until episode 5, so 2 months and something, 2 months and a half to get there, which is an actual live testing of an application. And so that application um, is Reflect, and it's an optimization tool for Aerodrome harnessing AI. Yeah, we are on all the hot keywords. But yeah, the cool part is also I've been able to get essentially 5. So the app is currently under restricted access for testing, and I've been able to get 5 spots that I can share with you. So first we're gonna go through the test, but then we'll figure out how to allocate those spots. Yep. So let me share screen, and we can get going. Um, and hey, RM, it's nice to see you there. Uh, so, and apparently the sound is good. Yes, finally. Okay, so let's just start from the debunk. Quickly have a look at where we're at. Um, bum, bum, bum. So we did the whole overview last time, although the sound wasn't so good. But I won't bother you with a full overview. I guess for the next session, which I will do. The next session is on the 25th. But I will be around. I'm not celebrating that Christmas, so I'm fine. So we can go a bit into more details, and there should be some info, most notably on the Mega East investment that we did. When was it? Mega East sale. Yeah, on the second session of the arena, uh, through essentially me through me, but by other wallet that had allocation in the sale. Um, yes. So yeah, I was looking at this too. That I guess that's a good start. Is I noticed that the position we started last session on Aerodrome, so which I thought was an automated managed pool, but then checking the Arena debunk, I saw it today essentially thrown out of range, full USDC, which would indicate that either I fucked up something and it's actually I didn't deposit into the managed pool, or it's a sleepy manager, as I call them. So it's managed, but the manager is quite slow to be balanced. So let's start with Aerodrome and try to figure out what's happening there. Uh, okay. So as we could see on dbank, the position is essentially full USDC. Oh my god, the UI is so confusing because they do say autopilot is available, but I think I screwed up and I deposited not in autopilot. But then I'm not even sure what would be the flow. Okay, let's try. Oh my goodness. Yes, I fucked up. Because essentially it's here that you pick it. Okay. So maybe we'll start more accounting work for me, and I can blame only me. But then the API are much less enticing uh, in autopilot, which seems to indicate that they're essentially using pretty wide concentration. Uh, yeah, it's kind of being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Uh, and this is actually kind of what the tool of today is doing. So maybe what are we're gonna do is simply terminate the position, and that would be then I think our first terminated position. So we do the proper accounting of that. Yeah, I know how to. Always start with the cool stuff. I know. But then once that is done, we will have some spare USDC that we can use to test such a reflect. And I only understand the product from a high level for now because the idea is to discover it with you. So I didn't even check the UI beforehand because I kind of wanted to preserve my naivety for the stream. Uh, so yeah, let's do that. Um, all right. So first to terminate that position up and to track it properly. Okay, so that was this one, and it was pretty short-lived. I guess we need to adjust a bit. We're gonna put init date and no. Oh my god, this shit is clunky a bit. But it works, and it's decentralized, so we're happy to use it. Okay, so we're gonna end it today, which is this one. So we are the 12th. No, we are the 11th of the 12th. Like this. And I guess we need a bit of another column here as well. Let's call this init value and then end value. Pretty clear, right? So now this is where we're going to have to do a piece of math because essentially we need to figure out effectively how much that position is worth. So the good news is we swan out of range full USDC, so that part is easy. Now the harder part is we have some ERC fees, some USDC fees, as well as some aero emissions. So it's literally just totaling all of that. Uh, so I will be doing the total in a calculator off screen. Sorry, because I'm sharing a Chrome tab with you, but I will walk you through it. So essentially, we're just doing the total. And the good news is we have Aero, and Aero gives you the dollar value of everything. So I'm gonna use these as reference. So the first value we're adding is just the dollar value of the USDC, so not the USDC themselves. Then we have the dollar value of the aero emission, and I'm taking 2 digits every time. We don't need to be a surgical level of precision. And then finally, the dollar value of the fees in both ERC and USDC. And so that gives me a total of 808.35, which is going to be our end value. And the good news is we didn't lose money. Oh yes, to make things bigger. Yes, good call. I am on a pretty big screen, so for me it's big, but it might not be for you. Like this should be better. So yeah, so I was just doing. Oh, an aerodrome especially. Yes, yes, you're right. Thanks, Emina. And hi, it's cool to see you there as well. Happy. Um, so yeah, I was just doing the total essentially between this dollar value here, this dollar value here, this one, the fees, and finally the aero. And that's how I got my 808.35 total. So, which is what allowed me to conclude that we didn't lose money, we didn't make much, but it's a good start. So now we're just gonna essentially claim everything. We have the Aero, and we have to unstake the pool, the LP token, sorry, and then withdraw from the pool. Uh, so here we are. Let's just see it on debug. I guess it would be clearer. So here we are. We recovered a bunch of USDC and a little bit of Aero. Now the interesting thing is, it seems like there was no fees, or they're just not displaying. Let me try to claim. What do I get here? No, indeed there were no fees. I just get the burn of the position when I click this claim. So actually, I'm not sure we made money. Give me a second. I need to go through the calculator history to remove 166 essentially from this figure, because those fees were not there. It was just a display bug. Else I would have gotten RC as well. So our actual value is 806.69, and we did lose money, yeah, but only $1. That's the price of doing science on chain, my friend. And especially, I guess this is the perfect example. So to recap the whole flow and kind of draw some learnings out of that, because also the audio wasn't so good last week, so maybe you didn't follow. So initially, we decided to go into this Euro Circle USDC pool, because like proper apes, we saw those big numbers and we were like, why not? I would slurp some of that. Where my first failure was that I wanted to deposit into autopilot, because the reasoning there was simple. We are interacting only together with this wallet, which means twice every month, which means low frequency, which means we can't manage a CL proper unless we do a very wide range. But my failure was that I didn't realize that essentially this was happening here by clicking autopilot. So that would have been the way to deposit in autopilot. But then yield is 0 literally for this one. It's quite weird. Maybe they don't have any deposit in autopilot yet. Or autopilot is rebalancing. Please try again. Oh, that's why probably. But even in the other pool, the autopilot, essentially you can do some math. The autopilot displayed emission IPR is about 8 times lower than the 0.5% plus minus 0.5%. So that would indicate that this essentially autopilot current liquidity distribution is around plus 4%, minus 4% against the price. So they're essentially being pretty wide in their distribution. And yeah, and that's how they kind of keep people in range to avoid having too many rebalancing. No, that's also one of the reasons I'm not so fond of those automated liquidity management, because it's essentially that either they are aggressive in how they manage your liquidity, but that means they rebalance a lot, and the more they rebalance, the more the likelihood to realize a loss increase, or they take the conservative route and they use wide concentration. But then, why would I use a software an additional risk to have a wide concentration that I could manage myself anyway? So that's kind of, I guess, a bit of confirmation of the thesis so far. Yeah. So nothing too exciting there, but at least we didn't lose too much money. So that's a good one. And yeah, while we are on Aero, and before I go to the reflect, let's just also do a quick tracking of this. Let's do a quick harvest of the 2 week and tracking. So I added a new tab in the sheet because this is a bit of a specific position. We're gonna continuously harvest every 2 weeks essentially. So same disclaimer as last week is you missed it. keep in mind that what we are harvesting here is 2 weeks of harvest, because again, I do not touch this wallet outside the stream, sorry. So that's why we get $50, which is a decent amount compared to the size of our position, which is around 10,000 euro, a bit more actually. That we bought, sorry, we put $10,000 worth into Aero, but we got close to the local top. So that was another amazing trade in the arena, live streamed in front of everyone. But I remain confident that the train will show positive returns. It's just a matter of time. And meanwhile, we have tons of things we can do with this Aero position. So I'm just claiming this yield, and I need to also account for it. So let's do that first. 26.11 and 25.56. 26.11, 25.56. And I need a dollar format pro, please. The second one, yes, 25.56. And we have a dust of IRO. It's not even a fraction of a cent. So I'm not accounting for those dust of IRO. Okay, so claim-wise, I think we are good. So let's have a look at Reflect. Yeah. So let me put it for you in the chat. The thing is, again, because it's restricted access, the URL by itself is not very helpful. But I do have generosity of the Reflect team, 5 access to share with you. So we will figure that out as soon as I'm done with the testing. And if it wants to connect, hello Reflect. Okay, here we are. So first, let's make it a bit bigger. So hello, welcome to Strategy Hub. You're using the private beta of Adam. That's a cute little name of their AI agent. Set and forget farms multiple pools at once and adjust position based on market conditions to deliver an adaptive APR. Adam handles depository allocation, harvesting, and auto-compounding. We are actively improving the beta, sharing your feedback and suggestions with us. Okay. So I kind of like the set and forget. And anyway, we don't really have a choice, as you can see for now. But again, for the same mindset that led me to wanting to try this autopilot pool on Aerodrome, which is the frequency of the operations on this wallet will not allow for to do anything else very efficiently. So, we need ETH. Okay, we can get some ETH. So I guess let's buy some ETH. Yeah, looking at the time, I don't think we will have time to do so much more this week. So what we're gonna do is um, simply take the weekly budget, the bi-weekly budget, sorry, the 1,500 bond, and swap them into ETH to have a decent amount of money to try this one. Yeah, I hope they will be generous with the airdrops because I'm starting to get a bit short on this front. November wasn't such a good month for the airdrops to the yappers and stuff like that. Not like October. So yeah, we're just swapping 1,500 bold into ETH using Jumper. The aggregator is decent anyway. Okay. And I do need the transaction. Oh no, not the Jumper scan, bro. The actual base scan. It's okay, I'll get it from here. And so let's just start to prepare our deployment report. So reflect, set, and forget. So we are still the 11th of December 2025. Initial value is, yeah, not exactly 1,000. I will adjust based on current board price. Okay. So just to be sure, we need, yeah, that the dollar value of 1,500 bond, so that our ship is accurate. Because else we're gonna be a bit too rough with the evaluation of the position. Because essentially we didn't put $1,500, we put 1,500 bond, which is trading at a slight discount on base. So I think we are ready for the show. Let's go. Let's trade out. So launch. Now we have some ETH. We don't want to max it because that would mean we don't have any gas anymore. I mean, we could use a gas tank. So let's do something simple. Let's do 0.45 ETH. There is this notion of operational fund and available for trading, whatever that means. So essentially, I think we're just essentially getting zapped into one of the strategy of the bot that the bot is doing, which honestly I would like. I'm being pretty degenerate here. I would have loved some context on what the bot is actually doing before I ape into it. I imagine we will see more about it later. And thus, I need to adjust my shit. Actually, I'm sorry, a lot of shit, but yeah, 0.45, and so that's the value I need to take. We'll get it from Basecamp. The dollar value, okay, of 0.45 is, which is this one. So now we get the nice estimation of the value of the. Oh, yeah, you're gonna make me do that seriously? Okay. So the goal is to have the as accurate as possible estimation of what we effectively deployed, because if we are not precise, we could essentially lead us to. I already put this data. What the fuck's happening here? And I guess we're going again. If we're not precise enough, and so if, for instance, we used 1,500 here, we would have been a bit rough in terms of performance evaluation of the position because we actually deployed a bit less. So reflect, set and forget. Okay. Any date. And okay, we're good. So source token will be then 0.45 ETH because we have a bit of excess here. So where is my reflect? It's here. So show strategy. Woohoo! We already lost $11. No. Wow, there is really little details. I'm really not happy about that. So sexy API advertised, but oh, okay, we can see. So we are liquidity provider on Rapis Ether, whatever that is. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of my grief with those. Yeah, of course. So it's essentially a shitcoin controller with a decent API on the emission, and it's a basic volatile. So I'm not surprised that this is what they would farm because it's easiest to manage. It's not CL. But I guess the value added could be in um, selecting those pool, rotating through the pool, monitoring that the shitcoin is not dropping so much, and maybe exiting if it starts to really get trashed. So yeah, we're in there anyway, and it's a bot choosing for us. But yeah, I guess that's kind of overall my bit of a grudge with those things is uh, you have a bit of a tension in the sense that how to put it, you go to an AI tool because you want the AI to do the job for you, right? So ultimately, the experience that we've been served here is pretty consistent, I imagine, with user expectations. They just want to come in, grab their things, and then forget, get an idea of the performance done. But at the same time, the more you abstract, and the more it's a bit of a black box. I mean, not purposely, you know. If you click on the position, you actually get the details. But um, still, essentially, like before we actually uh, deposited, we had no clue on as to what we were getting into. You know, we knew we were dropping some ETH in a bot, and that's pretty much it. There we can see that the bot is active. It's been doing some harvest today. Yeah, I just wanted to get a bit more color on this either, whatever that is. See if we can see just what the bot is deploying into. Uh, oh, wow, CoinGecko handle contract. I didn't know that. Maybe that's you. Okay, it's kind of classical coin chart. At least it seems pretty stable now past the initial excitation phase. And so what is this thing doing? Transforming stock market into yield engine. Hmm. The global lending network for tokenized stocks, the next generation securities lending infrastructure. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's not so bad in terms of use case. But then, how do they actually deliver that? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, it's this kind of thing. Let's say my confidence in the project just dropped about 95%, just based on the fact that, you know, you have a website. Literally, you still don't have an app yet. Maybe whitelist, I don't know. But you do have a token. That you do, uh-huh. You have a buy shitcoin with an aggregator link on your website. That you do. Honestly, I can't find of any credible scenario where this kind of behavior is normal, you know, in the sense that the guys are well intentioned, looking to actually build their project and do something that matters without being misleading or you know, pumping tokens to make money or whatsoever. I really can't defend it anymore. Not that I actually defended it one day, but yeah, again, this alone puts the chances of this not fitting the category not trash over 90%. Then, you know, maybe they have a good case, and we're not here to review either. It's only a robot which would see them. Bad bot, Adam. I mean, who knows? Maybe the token is decent. Uh, I'm kind of coming at this with an open mind. So we will see. We have only a bot going here. Supposedly making some great API. We've made about 10 cents of yield since we deposited in emission. Are we going to get butchered in the token price? Uh, well, we see here there is a bit of loss already, but you have to keep in mind that the pools to swap into that coin are like 70 BPS fees or something. So most of the loss is actually coming from that at this point. Uh, so the question is, will the API compensate for potential loss on the coin? That's for the bot to manage. I'm more curious to see as to what the bot will do. Is he actually monitoring um, the situation, making some decision, or is he like, if this shit is going to zero, is the bot gonna let me get butchered, you know, with the flow, and then report to me, hey Bryce, yes, so principal is down 75%, but we made $100 yield, woohoo! Or is this a bit smarter than that? That would be kind of what I'll be looking for. But yeah, I guess we have to let it run a bit and see. So I'll definitely put this in a corner, and on next session we can have a look. So yeah, I guess am I such a good publicist? Well, no, I am an honest publicist. I've been clear with the guys that there would be a testing, not necessarily an endorsement. No, the UI is pretty clear. My main and biggest grudge that I have, and I will state it again in case one of the Reflect guys watching this, is that you're asking me to put money in a black box. At this point, I have no clue what your thing is doing, and the only way I had to know that I was actually going to allocate into that header, which is my quick analysis, seems to really belong in the shitcoin category, was to actually deploy funds to the bot. And this I find it a bit can understand where it comes from. You don't want to overwhelm people with information when they come on the website whatsoever, but there should be a little button somewhere to see essentially. And I guess I'm a bit also I went a bit fast because you have this analytics tab, and through the analytics we could have figured out that the bot is investing into that Rapid header pool, because this is literally all the latest action are tied to that. But yeah, still I think it would be nice to have a bit more transparency on the strategy, the allocation logic, um, and particularly what I was saying. How is about making his decision. So like I don't need to have an algorithm or whatsoever, but at this point we have again no clue of concretely what this bot is doing. If this shitcoin is going to zero, are we getting butchered on the shitcoin, or does this have some mechanism to restore liquidity or whatsoever? Um, why was either as the pool chosen? Um, I can understand why we looked at Aero. It's one of the best paying VIMM pool, which is the easiest type of pool to manage. So that would explain. But again, that's something a human can do. I can go basic and start by emission APR. Oh, what's the first? That's Heddle. Look at me, I'm Adam the robot. No, beep up. It's I'm making a bit of fun, but you get my point, right? Um, so yes, that's kind of where I stand there. Uh, and now that I said all of that, if you want to test the application, I actually have whitelist posts to offer you. No, but no, the team was really nice on this. They were cool to be live tested in the arena, and they were the first. So on this front, I want to say kudos to the Reflect guys for that, because they didn't. I mean, they knew a bit what they were getting into, but they didn't have any guarantee of what would be the testing. And again, this is something that we need to see over time for that perform. So I'm not forming any conclusion today. I need to see 2 weeks and so on how it goes. But yeah, so if you want to test it yourself, you can just shoot me a wallet in DM, and I will forward so they can give you access. So that's for Reflect. So it is properly accounted for. It's here. Yes. We just don't have the deployment transaction. Second. And then, if we're done with the actual on-chain stuff, I had a few other things I wanted to bring to your attention today. As soon as I am done, you know, account. So the good news is we seem to have solved the microphone problem, which is I'm happy. That's already a big one. Um, so yeah, what did I have? I had some tweets I bookmarked to look at. Also, yes, first, if any of the, I don't know, 3 members of the audience, I don't know, maybe many you are, if any of you is on Essos, feel free to manifest yourself, because I'm actually trying to grow a bit of a platform there, and ideally one day even have enough reputation, as they call it, to be able to initiate slashes, and that happens at 1,600, and I am essentially flirting with 1,400 now. I'm still have a bit of work to get there, but yeah, I have some potential slashes brewing that I think are fairly documented and will make for a prime quality entertainment. So yeah, feel free to. I can't force you or recommend you or anything. I don't want to manipulate the algorithm. Just bring to your attention this fact. I am on Essos, TokenBrice. You find me there. I am currently with a few reviews, but not enough to have the ground score of 1,600 that will give me access to the below slash feature. So if you are on Essos as well, and if you feel like it, feel free to contribute to getting to that milestone of 1,600 that would allow us to slash. And Yeah, we can even make it in a collaborative adventure. Let's say if we do reach the 1,600, I am I will open up the slash to the arena community in the sense that if you have a credible slash that you want to submit, I mean, I'm willing to be your slash relay. I will be, of course, reviewing the case of your slashing. Do you actually have a credible reason to be wanting to slash that protocol or that person and so on before I got it through? But essentially, we're crowdfunding the slash so that we can share the fund. Pretty cool, right? So just to catch up, I saw that they have some question on the chat. So Dia, oh, sorry, you asked that like a while ago, but I was in the middle of other things, so I will read it just in case people are not seeing the chat. I have an honest question. How long do you think Aero and CIV will be around? Is it like liquidity as long as ETH exists, they will be there, or what exactly should one consider? Do you have any article in that topic? Well, that's a good one. I mean, the good news is if you're asking at the technical level, uh, it's actually the answer to your first question. Is it like liquidity? The honest answer will most likely have to be very close to a yes, if not a straight yes. Simply for the fact that just like liquidity, those are immutable tokens, um, and therefore, there is no way to shut them down. They will be around as long as the network synchronizes. Um, Now, as you can also probably know, for instance, for Aerodrome, there is a new version coming up that will come with a token migration. Yes, as long as Chainlink exists for liquidity, I'm giving a. But we're talking about the token, Emilian. So technically, I'm right. Technically, the liquidity token would be here, no matter what happens. I'm not saying it would have value. So my back is covered. The lawyer, you can back off. No, good point. Of course, for liquidity, the protocol itself, the critical dependency of liquidity, liquidity v1 does a better job than liquidity v2, by the way, on that regard, is the oracle. And on liquidity v1, you have essentially a kind of switching logic between Chainlink and Taylor. On liquidity v2, you just have some slight sanitization of the Chainlink data. So yeah, DeFi Scan is a great resource here. You have the liquidity v1 that is reviewed, and you will find in the autonomy the mention of the oracle. But because it has this fallback logic with chaining teller, it's getting a low risk. And then liquidity v2, the review is in progress and should be there shortly. But yeah, for this kind of question, it's actually DeFi Scan is a great resource to answer such questions. But yeah, to refocus a bit on the token, because I was asked about the token specifically. So the token, they're all three immutable token contracts. So there is no reason to, I mean, it's not that there is no reason to believe that they won't be here. Technically, they will still be here as long as the Ethereum network synchronizes the token. um, um, what I wanted to say. That doesn't mean there cannot be migrations or things like that. For instance, we talked 1 or 2 sessions ago about Aerodrome new version, where there is a merge between the Velo and Aero. Aero is going to come on mainnet. There is a third version of the metatext, and tons of other things coming up. And this comes with a token migration. So you see, immutable token, but token migration is totally possible. And essentially, what's going to happen is just at some point in time, they're going to launch this new token that will be allocated based on the balances of your previous token, including the log balances. And then this will come with its own new infrastructure of, Aerodrome that is cross-chain and with gauges on all the chains, emissions going there and so on. But I guess that's the point to watch for, because I don't know exactly what's your perspective when you ask that question. But so, for instance, for Aero, you have to keep in mind that migration, I imagine they will give ample delay for people to claim their new Aero token. But who knows? Maybe the delay would be 2 years. So that's not something you can, put in a wallet and forget for 10 years if that's the case. Maybe they will do it like Uniswap airdrop style, and it will be forever. Um, I don't have any information on this, so I can tell you, but I just wanted to highlight that you can have immutable token and you can still have migration. Therefore, immutable token doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I can put this thing in a drawer for a decade and I know it will still be there. Uh, because yeah, the scenario of a migration that is time bound and that you miss, that would be one way, for instance, to lose technically those tokens. I mean, uh, to be exactly technically precise, you wouldn't lose a token. You'll still have the old token, but the old token would be essentially worthless, which I imagine is more the angle there. Um, yeah, I think that should answer it. Any answer on the topic of, or if it was more about the model? Um, about the model, I have tons of content on my blog, TokenBrice XYZ, about this. Um, I believe the model is sturdy and should stand the test of time. I mean, for CRV, it's already been running 4 years and something, the token. For Velo Aero, it's a bit shorter, but still also in a decent amount of time, especially on the Velo side. Uh, so it kind of also shows that. Um, but yeah, nobody has a crystal ball. It's a question of, do you believe the model has economic balance essentially or not? And from what we've seen and from what I understand of the model, I do believe so. Um, so it's kind of where I would stand on this. Uh, I can stop sharing for now. I did have maybe just a couple more things to bring to your attention. But yeah, oh, I almost opened my bookmarks on stream, but that would have been risky. My first bookmark is a dangerous one. We start trying to keep this stream clean. So yes, uh, there was a few things I wanted to highlight. So let's reshare now that I've been past this first dangerous. Okay. So I figured when I have time, when we're not doing 1 hour non-stop of DeFi like today, because we're using little robots like Adam to do our job, we could discuss also quickly some of the stuff I looked at this week that I think are interesting if you want to further your understanding. And the first one I'll put in the chat is you probably know this guy, or if you don't, you should follow him. Paper Imperium. So he's essentially a former delegate in the Maker ecosystem, still following what's happening there closely. But essentially, and I'm giving you the very shortcut version, so please read his story, his done interview, and things like that if you want more. Essentially, a bit disgruntled since the Rune doesn't give a fuck era of Maker, let's call it like that, which started pretty much from the get-go, but became very obvious, let's say a couple years ago. I don't know exactly when he ended his delegation platform, but it's not so recent. No, it's at least more than a year, I think. But anyway, it's just for the context on this guy because one thing I like particularly is he's been going through those series of, he goes through essentially old stuff from regular finance and kind of explain a bit financial concepts starting from that. And I find those tweets particularly interesting. Maybe they are particularly interesting to me because I like history, and also I am a financial toddler, I want to say, in the sense that I barely touched any regular financial product in my whole life. I did a lot of DeFi, of course, but when it comes to regular finance, uh, um, I barely own any stock, barely use saving account or things like that. I kind of, jump straight to crypto and never really touch that. Um, so, um, so yeah, maybe that's speaking to me. Another one I had saved aside was this interview of Michael Bentley, the founder of Euler, and it's particularly interesting because he's diving into this. I mean, he's not actually diving into it. He's answering the question that the host is asking about, essentially monolithic infrastructure versus modular created. And so, it's kind of, I guess when you ask it like that, it's not so exciting, but think more of essentially AV versus awful or oil. Like it's two philosophical ways, philosophical design choice as to how to you build a landing service. And he's providing really great answer overall on that question. So if you're interested in lending, I think it's interesting. And, this kind of tension, I think, will keep permeating the discussion everywhere within a protocol itself as well. Because this framework is also useful to understand the latest development on Avi. So if you think about it, Avi started as a pure monolith, right? You have one Avi V2. It's a one true God, and everybody prays to it. Literally, almost like that, in the sense that there was only one instance of Avi V2 on mainnet, and all the tokens were in there. And boom, they were all connected together. You put the token accepted as collateral. You can borrow anything that it is in the debt. There was no limit, no ceiling, no emote, no all of that. Meaning that if there was one dangerous collateral, the whole borrowing side could have been drained on IVV2. That's something people like to forget or like to misunderstand, and I think that's why I want to remind it. And also maybe for your DeFi trivia, you can read about Ixushi on Avi to realize that this risk is not hypothetical. It is a real risk that went very close to manifesting itself. So the design was obviously limited in that sense. That's why Avi evolved over the years to something that is more modular, and the modularity is implemented in various ways. You have those new Avi instances. So, I mean, we can go quickly to have a look at it. The Aave Lido, the Aave Esna, whatever else they have, uh, SFE, and of course the one that are specific to a given L2. So that's one way of bringing in down a bit the infrastructure, because now even if you're just on mainnet, the instances are completely segregated. So on the SFE instance, I have those assets. I have, for instance, apparently only 8K USDC supplied. That is, of course, a completely segregated instance from the core Avi instance, where there I have 4.45 billion of USDC supply. The two do not speak to one another. I put the collateral on the core instance of Avi mainnet. I cannot borrow USDC from the SFI or the Lido instance. So you can have the same token, you still have absolute segregation. They act like if they're two different protocols. Avi Lido, Avi Esna, Avi Core. So of course that's one way of building, going away from the monolithic design and going into modular infrastructure. You could also argue that something like the E mode is a form of bringing some modularity to it, because now it's kind of creating preferred pair within the big pool of one market. And yeah, essentially that's like a mini module within an instance. But yeah, long story to tell you that just thinking about this on a protocol like Avi and going through its version and the last update already can inform you a bit as to where they're going, and even more as to what to expect out of the V4. And if you've read a bit what has been announced, it's also clearly an important topic to understand that update, this framework of like modular versus monolithic. And of course, I wanted to kind of deep dive a bit in Avi, because just like Michael, and he does it much better than me in the interview, highlight, it's really not like a black and white question. It's really more a question of degrees, nuances. It's just like decentralization. Is it decentralized or is it not? It's more about understanding the degree of decentralization and why it stands on that spectrum at this position. Just like we did a bit before, for instance, when we were talking about liquidity and the Oracle being the main thing to watch for, because of the protocol use case and the protocol design. Protocol use case being the lending, Oracle is always critical for lending, and the protocol design being essentially hedging for pretty much everything else, because it's immutable, and I let you read the device can review if you want to go further. Therefore, you can able to put your focus on that. Okay, I know because I understand that this is an immutable CDP protocol that has no external dependency, but for the Oracle, that now I'm going to look very closely at the Oracle, because this is essentially where things can go south. And I think that's the mindset to adopt, essentially, if you want to have a deep understanding of how things work in DeFi. And yes, pretty much that is it. So I hope that answered your question, DA. 20 something minutes later, but still we got it. Um, and yeah, I think that's gonna be a wrap for this week. So I didn't see any of you manifest for being a reflect tester. I'm a bit disappointed, guys. Please, we want to test more things live in the arena. So we need interest there. No, seriously, you do as you want, but feel free to ask. I have 5 wallets that can be granted access to Reflect. So just shoot me a DM on Telegram or Twitter if you want. Shoot me a DM, including the wallet address you will be using to test this Reflect. And yeah, let me know. Just is you're coming late. Reflect is essentially set and forget as they market it strategies on the LP side of Aerodrome. It takes some ETH as an entry and will deploy them in, I hope so, various pools, but so far we've seen mostly and only this Eden Rapid pool that is the best paying volatile pool there is on Aerodrome. So it's not necessarily no, a bad place to be at in terms of yield. The question will, of course, be what's happening in terms of the price of the token and how the bot is able to handle that. Are we going to get butchered with the flock if these things drop or not? Suspense, suspense. Answer in the next episode, because yes, there will be a next episode, and it will be in exactly 2 weeks. On the 25th, I will be there, so you can open your present and watch the arena in a couple of weeks and see what happened to our precious East. And yeah, on this, I think that's a wrap. Don't forget to DM me your wallet address that you want to use for testing if you want to give a test run to Reflect as well. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one.